Bluebell Notes podcast is brought to you courtesy of Long Way Home Productions, the friendly home of recording in Sussex. At your place or ours, together we'll make your music really shine.
Watcha.
Hi. Oh, 3 different ones.
Let's try that again.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, sure. Now we've properly gone.
You're on the same note. Let's try it one more time. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yes. Smashed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Expect 1920s renditions of barbershop songs in the next episode. Hello and welcome to Bluebell Notes, episode 9 of the... I'm keeping on top of the numbers now. I'm doing very well at this. And what a lovely day. If you hear a little bit of bird song in the background, we've got the windows open. Shay Pove.
We heard a little wren earlier, didn't we?
We did. Wrens and robins singing. Let's say who we are. I'm Neil Povey.
I'm Jim the Lurcher Tippler.
Oh, nice.
And I'm Josie.
Where's the lurcher? What's this?
It's legs again.
Oh, is
it's
it?
all about the legs.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
What, you
last
did
time
lurch?
It was spider last time.
I was spider last. No, I used to. That was another nickname for me by the Polands.
Lurch.
No, the Lurcher. No,
okay.
not Lurch.
He is quite tall.
Yeah,
could be.
No,
like
but
a
it wasn't Lurch.
Okay.
It should be
Anyway.
Lurch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Lurcher.
Should we get on with this?
Yeah.
Should we just get on with? Because I've got to leave early because I'm going off to a physio appointment.
Yeah, so we should
which
get
is
this fast forward
appropriate.
this.
For
because
your
we
health.
we're talking about music and health today.
We are indeed. That's
going
to be our theme. We're going to have a quick chat through about what happened at Bluebell Roots last time. We got some live music from one of our floor spots that we had. We've got an interview with Erica Steenkamp, which we have literally just recorded. Just chatted to Erica Steenkamp this morning, and a live track from her as well. And then any other sort of updates and sort of village notices.
We're also going to do a new feature of the question of the month, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Have you got that written down somewhere? Because I don't know what it is.
No.
Well, we'll come to that. We'll make it up as we go along.
All right, fair enough.
And I'm going to make a musical stab with the clarinet. Is it called a stab?
Well, yeah, it's like that, just like a little interlude. But yeah, we've called them stabs in our technical notes. But I think it is. Yeah,
so
that'll be really good.
we haven't got it at the moment, but hopefully I'll get that back to you and you can put it into it.
Okay, so that'll be great. Well, we're going to have one of those right now, which is on the banjo. Recorded by Mr. Jim Tippler, of course. Let's talk about Bluebell Roots. A couple of Sundays ago now, and we were in our new venue, which we were greatly looking forward to. I have to say, I found it a little bit stressful.
You were stressed, weren't
I
you?
was stressed,
Yes.
and I know I said this last time because I took my digital mixer and used it the previous time. And I was a bit stressed that time, but this time even more because we kind of. We set ourselves quite a task, didn't we? It's a bigger room.
Yeah.
And we were very worried that we were going to lose the ambience that we had in the kitchen. But by all accounts...
Yeah, we succeeded in transferring
I think we did a good job.
I mean, I found it stressful just from the point of view that it took us so long to get set up because it was the first time we'd done it. And I felt I wasn't able to welcome people properly.
Yeah.
People were coming in from different doors as well. So I was trying to get people to sign in as they came in. And again, I didn't feel I could welcome Erica properly when she arrived.
Yeah.
So just stressed from that point of view. And we had to just rearrange things slightly because of the way the seating worked, that we couldn't do the food serving.
The walk for the food, yeah.
Yeah, so
it was a bit of
about that. But
we were kind of making things up as we went along to a certain extent. But that's the whole thing. That's how it happens, isn't it? And I'm sure
it's all going to be going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't get stressed at all.
I know you don't.
What is the deal with that?
I don't know. I just sort of think...
I think you got cross when the fairy lights get falling off. But
no, not really. I was more getting cross about the lights flashing, the stage lights.
Oh, that was annoying.
That was
issue with the
irritating.
lighting.
Yeah,
I wasn't stressed about it.
You need to put some switch cleaner on that connector.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Who played Jim?
So we had
Josie.
we had Seffi and Anne to start with.
Lovely to have them back. Part of
really
the Cheer Up
nice.
Mollies.
Yes, and they also had Bruce Knapp playing with them for the first night.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then Colin Chapman, another regular.
Yeah.
And Bruce and Carolyn.
I quite like Colin's song about the particles.
Yes.
That was interesting, wasn't it? Yeah, it's quite clever.
Yeah. Then we had Paul Winter, and I think we're going to hear one of Paul's...
yes, we are. We're going to hear a song from Paul. He's writing a musical.
Regulars Jason and Lisa played for us.
Always a pleasure.
And
they also run an event. Actually, I'm not sure if we've mentioned that before, but they do the Chiddingly, the Six Bells, don't they?
Yeah, we don't mention it because they're in competition with us, obviously.
Yeah, so, but we're not bitter.
Big it up. No.
Six Bells at Chiddingly every other Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then we had Andy Melrose and for the first time Bluebell Roots, who's joined with Nicola Bloom, and they are they play as the Heartlands, don't they?
That's right. Yeah.
So that was lovely to hear them playing together.
Great voice, Nicola.
Yes,
really great.
Yeah.
She's brilliant.
Really
brilliant
good songwriting. They've been writing songs together, haven't they?
That was super bit of banjo there as well, actually, in one of their songs.
Yeah. And we had Nigel Horn and Marilyn Thomas again. Another collaboration that's happened through Bluebell Roots.
Which has been really great. And that's one of the things we've said a few times. You know, that's that the people meet and it does create new stuff as well. Which is it's not just event, the live event on the day. So, okay, well, let's hear the song from Paul Winter, and we'll have a chat about that in a moment.
I'm renowned for writing and singing really serious songs. However, I'm writing a musical. How hard can it be? Musicians do it. This is from halfway through the musical, and it references an earlier song. So when I'm talking about the captain, the musical's called Heroes and Villains, The Thunder Years. When I'm talking about the captain, his full name is Captain Laxative, and it's probably all you need to know. The rest of it will become clear. This song's about a colonel. His name is Colonel Constipation. Shall I get me coat? I can see you're in bad trouble. You got a traffic jam that bubbles. It's the work of a villain. Somehow he built a dam. It's been too long, and oh my word, you're gonna need a battering ram. He is the king amongst the very worst of guys. He's Colonel Constipation, bringing tears to your eyes. It's been a long, long time, oh such a long, long time. It's been a long, long time. It's been a long, long time. He watches you while you're eating. He recommends the richest of food. There's nothing there that's gonna help, but he'll tell you it's nutritious and good. You've worked hard and you've earned it. Surely you deserve a small treat, but tomorrow you pay, or even much worse, all the way to the end of next week. It's been a long, long time, oh such a long, long time. It's been a long, long time. It's been a long, long time. The great captain has his helper. He's always close behind. His name is Private Flatulence. He can be hard to find. He moves in on the colonel, invisible as he hunts, silent but invariably deadly. He always leads with trumps. Thank heavens for the captain. He brings such blessed relief. We can rest safe in bed without turmoil or digestive grief. Always keep him close at hand, always keep him near. If he is close, then you're in luck. You might prevent volcanic diarrhea. It's been a long, long time, oh such a long, long time. It's been a long, long time. It's been a long, long time.
Great song from Paul.
Yeah,
really
love that one.
enjoyed that. He's a very funny guy, actually. He talks a good game when
Yeah.
he's on the mic as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So
He has
just
a
so lovely.
wonderful voice, doesn't he? And
Yeah.
actually, if we're talking health issues, then that's
Oh,
an interesting
yeah.
story
Yeah,
as well,
it is.
isn't it?
Yeah,
That,
we'll come on to that.
So definitely looking forward to hearing more of this musical that he's putting together.
Oh, yeah.
It should be really good. I think that's that kind of sums up the Bluebell Roots bit for this one. But we're going to move on to
Apart from the food. Well, they
which-
struggled with the oven to get the oven working to start off with, to warm the bread.
So Philippa and
then
Michael, who normally
Philippa
cook
and
our food.
Michael, they were cooking a great big risotto,
Wild garlic.
risotto outside.
Yeah.
In two huge paella
pans, yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
on,
then,
on gas heaters
on
outside.
gas
in the
heaters
car
outside
park,
while
yeah.
we're all inside enjoying the floor spots. And then the paella pans were so big that they couldn't get it through the door. So I had to open the double doors and move the audience out of the way and bring it into the kitchen.
Sharon
It was
decided
just
we should have
classic.
had a piper, but what's the Italian equivalent of a piper
Yes.
to pipe
it'd
in
be
a
like,
risotto?
it'd be like some sort of bouncy accordion. wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
that would work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
mandolin would be really nice.
Mandolin,
mandolin.
yeah, with like the third
Yeah.
man theme tune or something.
But
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
whatever, it was blooming delicious.
It was.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Absolutely incredible. And cooking for 60 people
I
on
know.
outside was just
What a feat,
incredible.
yeah.
We were
And,
very-
and she did it with such humour and good
Yeah,
grace
she does.
and non-flappable.
Yeah, oh, she's
It was just
unbelievable in that
fantastic.
sense. We're very privileged to have Philippa and Michael
Yeah.
cook for us,
And Marilyn, of course, because
Marilyn-
Marilyn asked to go on last so she could carry on doing all the chores
Yeah.
in the kitchen that she had to
Yes,
do.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, so
Big up.
thank you to Philippa and Michael. It was just brilliant. We're looking forward to more in the next one. Okay, so we're going to talk, as I said, about health. We want to talk about the benefits to musicians, the health benefits of being involved in music, live music, and so on, but also some of the risks and that kind of thing. That's going to form our main sort of chat today. Right, health. How are you feeling? Good today?
Yeah,
I don't think.
I've got a little bit of a
feeling pretty
cold.
good. Yeah.
Why don't we start with Paul, actually? That story about Paul
Talk
Winter.
about Paul Winter. Yes, he
Because
we-
I know he won't mind us sharing that.
yeah. When we first met Paul, he was singing with this amazing loud voice, clear, loud voice. But then he told us a short while after that he'd had to relearn to speak
Wow.
and sing after it was a very serious bicycle accident, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Mountain bike accident,
Yeah,
so,
so
yeah.
his neck and vocal cords were so severely damaged he couldn't speak. Basically, he had to relearn how to speak. And
Wow.
since then, he's been singing.
Oh,
He
okay.
didn't sing before the accident.
Why they gave him that ridiculous Geordie accent? Is
That's
anybody's
just
guess.
cruel,
It's
isn't
just
it?
really cruel.
He had a very nice received pronunciation beforehand. And
I wonder if the singing was part of his therapy.
It could well have been, because we were talking about this, weren't we? With we met Chris Startup last Friday at Contra Roots. He performs with King's Gambit, and he was telling us about how he does online classes for people with asthma. It's called Project Sounds, and it's basically it's harmonica lessons to help people with their breathing. And he's linked with the Asthma Society, isn't he?
okay.
Yeah, asthma and
Lung health.
lung health.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I mean, asthma,
asthma
is,
and lung UK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. And so Paul had a sort of similar sort of thing with breathing as well, or with just
I don't know
with
about the breathing.
speech
I
side of
know it was just the speech that he
Yeah.
literally had to relearn how to speak.
I think he's always been a music lover, but whether he performed,
I don't think
don't
he
know.
sung before. I'm pretty certain
I'll
he
have to
told me he
ask him.
didn't sing before. We will just double check that.
yeah.
fact.
Where can we find out more about the thing with Chris Startup?
Yeah, go to Chris's website, I would say, projectsounds.co.uk.
But also there's this thing about singing that people with a stammer or some kind of vocal issue,
tick or something,
they can sing fine.
The music benefit there is really interesting, and the link to do
there's
with
the actual there are physical benefits to performing music, aren't there?
Yeah.
So improving your motor skills.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you're playing an instrument. Yep.
Yeah, and
we've talked about lung capacity for
singers,
singing.
particularly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people playing a wind instrument, I suppose. Yeah, as you say, with the harmonica and the clarinet.
With clarinet.
Yep.
Yeah, and I actually started playing clarinet because had a choice. Mum and Dad decided it was a choice between the harp or the clarinet when I was learning at school.
Okay.
One.
You go to school in ancient Renaissance times or something. The harp.
The harp was rather heavy and rather expensive.
Yeah, you couldn't get gig bags for them then.
The clarinet, you push it against your teeth, so they thought it might sort out my wonky teeth. That never happened, so that was one health benefit that didn't happen.
And this coming from a teaching point of view now, having been a teacher for sort of over 20 years in my career, there are huge benefits to young people for learning if you are learning about music as well, learning a musical instrument, because it has an effect on the word that you brought up earlier when we were sort of planning.
Neuroplasticity.
What a great word. Neuroplasticity. It's your brain's ability to change and form new pathways and synapses and things like that, neurological stuff. And learning those things, which are different from your ordinary learning, gives you access to other ways to learn different things outside of music. And it's, there are huge numbers of research papers into how the benefits of learning a musical instrument can pay off in all other subjects that you're learning at school in terms of the way that you learn. The way you have to apply a different kind of mindset. So you're learning a different language if you're reading music, for example.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say about reading music, it's very mathematical, isn't it?
In many ways, actually.
So it probably does improve
a lot
your
of
maths,
music,
logic skills.
Yeah, so many things. I mean, too many to sort of list. So yeah, definitely benefits there.
Also, the social side is so important to your mental health. We were talking earlier about how mental health impacts your physical health and vice versa.
For sure.
So
very much.
Improving your mental well-being has a really positive effect on your physical well-being.
Yeah, it can help you overcome viruses. And
illnesses. If you don't play a musical instrument, joining a community choir.
Yep.
We'll have
every town has one now.
Yeah, everywhere. They're all over the place. Ukulele group.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're great social places, and if you're struggling socially, they're just fantastic places to meet people, and thereby, it's going to have a positive effect on your physical well-being as well as your mental well-being, isn't it?
We are talking about the mental health side of music in another.
Yeah, we're going to go
podcast,
a bit more deep into that, but actually,
they're very closely linked. That mental and
definitely.
physical well-being.
I think people are realising that far more now than they ever were. I mean, the mental health agenda is much more out there in the news and so on. There are risks associated with being in the music industry, though, as well, aren't there? Health risks that can come from.
We were looking at this, and there's a number of risks.
Yeah, the first and most obvious one is your hearing, isn't it? It's a lot of people who would be playing regular music or in the background part of the industry, the sound engineers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your hearing is likely to suffer if you're constantly
around
amplified music.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a band with a sort of quite a loud rock band back in the day, and the bass player, I mean, he was pretty profoundly deaf, actually.
Really?
And he had this huge rig. Yeah, not only was he deaf, he had a really bad back from lugging around this sort of 5 foot tall Ampex amp that he used.
I mean, that's similar in terms of what I do now as a DJ. I cart my kit in and out of my van into a venue, stacking it up, lifting speakers on and off poles and things like that. And actually, for a lot of people in the grassroots part of the music industry, they're doing all of that themselves.
Yeah.
You're not turning up, plugging and playing. You've got a lot of setting up to do and then hauling stuff about.
Luckily,
you might bring a mate, but
equipment largely for musicians is getting lighter.
Yeah,
on the
more
whole.
compact.
And I think also with the hearing side, I had some attenuators made, and they were brilliant. But
what are attenuators, Jim?
Well, they make things quieter, basically.
They're
they limit the sound.
Earplugs?
Yeah, these were moulded to my ear, and then there's a little widget inside the actual sort of moulding, and that limits the amount of sound, the amount of air. It's a smaller,
smaller hole for it to get through.
That's the thing that I picked up details of the other day that I forwarded to our son, who is in sound engineering, and this was from Help Musicians.
Yeah.
They were doing
this is a charity, UK-based charity, isn't it?
Yeah, they're doing discounted hearing assessment and protection for sound engineers.
That's interesting.
So
worth looking up.
Yeah, if somebody's interested in that, helpmusicians.org.uk.
There's been, in the last sort of 20 years, there's been huge improvements in sound quality.
Absolutely.
As well as, you're not getting the really harsh, damaging sounds.
No, you don't get those transients that you
Also, as a musician, in-ear monitoring is becoming more prevalent. And that means that you're still, you're having earpieces fitted to your ear, and having the sound directly into your ear.
Rather than relying on a monitor on the floor in front of you.
Yeah, or an amplifier behind you.
Which means you've got more freedom to move around as well.
Yeah, plus you're not getting that ambient sound coming into your ear holes. So you're limiting the amount of it. You can play with your own volume.
Not getting the reverb from the room and so on as well, which can affect things.
Yeah, so you've got those things, which are mitigating.
So it's just important to be aware of the risks to your hearing and what you can do to help.
Yeah, so that's hearing.
So what other risks, we were talking about this before, what other risks to your health are there with relationship with playing music?
If you're a busy musician, particularly probably more on the classical side, playing an instrument, there's a risk that you can over practice.
Yeah.
And if you're practicing for a big gig, you could spend just literally too long practicing.
So does that manifest as an RSI, repetitive strain injury, that kind of thing?
Just get painful joints, painful swelling of muscles, and it's really important to manage the way you practice. It's really important to manage the way you recover.
So warming up, I think, is important.
Warming up is really important.
Before
but not
a gig.
overdoing it.
But not too much.
Yeah, there's, again, particularly with classical musicians, there's technique as well. Making sure that you've got good technique
and posture,
all those sort of things.
But those kind of things are often taught when you are learning a classical instrument, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's probably in more sort of contemporary styles of music, those kinds of things are probably not taught as much. If you're sort of more casually learning guitar and drums and things like that, I wonder if those things are taught
and if you're
much.
self-taught.
And self-taught, which has a lot of people. I mean, I'm an entirely self-taught guitarist, and bad habits.
I would imagine that, I am self-taught as a guitarist, but I would imagine if you're a qualified guitar teacher, dealing with young people particularly, you're going to be really concentrating. You've got a duty of care, haven't you? You've got to teach them safe ways to practice and safe ways to play. And so I think there's that, but there's older dudes like us who have, been playing for however long. Taught yourself at school.
I'm a thumb hanger, for example. My thumb goes over the top of the neck, supposed to be in the middle of the back of the neck.
You're kind of proud of the bad habits.
Well, you get aware of them, don't you? The more you perform, when you start getting little sort of niggling pains here and there, you think, well, what's causing that? So, for instance, when I'm sitting on the cajon, I don't lean forward and play with my hands anymore. I use sticks, so I can sit a bit more upright. Yeah, because I suffer with a bad back.
Yeah.
And also, I'm aware that if you're hitting a sheet of wood with your hands on a repeat basis, it can cause issues with your
the reverberation
vibrations in your fingers.
It's a bit like
that
when
can exacerbate Raynaud's symptoms.
Drummers
Even
must have
using
the same.
drumsticks, you're going to get that vibration going through your
Yeah,
hands.
absolutely. That's
During lockdown, Josie and I did yoga, didn't we? Musician yoga.
Yeah, it's from the Musicians Union. They sent out an email with links to
MU
this regular.
If you're a Musicians Union member, it's really worth looking at those. If you go to the MU site, there's various different well-being practice and training
different resources.
Pages. There's musicians yoga, which was good. That was like freeing up the joints, but it also, you're connecting with your breath. Saving your wrists, relieving tension, finding good state of mind to be in to practice. Yeah. So that's really worth having a look at, I would say.
There's a lot of great stuff on that. So, Josie, thinking of physical things, you've got to go to the physio, so you're going to be off soon, but you want to introduce a new feature for us.
New feature called the Question of the Month.
Which Neil has come up with a theme tune for.
Yeah, it goes like this.
Brilliant.
Okay. So the question for this month is, what would be your theme tune when you walk into a room?
Mine would be Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, I think.
Yeah,
That
so
one.
you can just write down what you think your theme tune would be,
Yeah.
or you could create a voice note. And how do you do that, Neil?
You could do it for now. Let's just send it to the Bluebell Roots Facebook page. So I know we're Bluebell Notes, but the Facebook page that we've got running, which is where all this came from, is Bluebell Roots. So if you just search for Bluebell Roots Music in the Kitchen, and you can send a voice note via Messenger to that page.
And hopefully we'll play some of those next month.
That would be funny.
I liked Neil's theme tune, actually. If only you'd done it with your mouth, that would have been even better.
Oh, very good, very good. All right. Okay, well, good luck at the physio. Let's hope
you
you
very
come back
much.
feeling physically better. Right, now Josie's disappeared. Right, let's talk about Josie.
Just talk about Josie.
She's so tiny.
Teeny.
She's tiny.
Yes.
But yeah, she'll be back for the next episode anyway. So we'd continue talking about health. And one of the things that you mentioned, because you got a bit of a cold today.
Yeah, I have got a bit of a cold.
And this can be a risk to travelling musicians, because actually you were constantly exposing yourself to different groups of people.
Oh, yeah. And I'm a bit of a hugger as well.
Yeah.
Which is a new phenomenon for me, really. It never used to be.
No, I didn't. I wasn't probably until my late 20s,
Yeah.
I think, and when I went to university.
Oh, no, I think it's much later for me.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, sort of 40s, 50s.
Oh, I love a hug, though.
Oh, I like a hug.
Yeah,
it's a great thing. I mean, we all stopped for COVID, of course.
Yep.
But, we're starting
And
to
missed
hug
it.
again. So but I found some really nice tips for if you're a singer,
Yeah.
and how the show must go on. You've got to carry on with it if you've got a bit of a cold.
Yeah. Right. So tips for.
So tips for looking after your throat and looking after your voice would be. I liked this one actually, which was don't apologise for being ill into a microphone.
Okay. So sorry, everyone. I'm really ill.
Because actually, nobody probably would notice anyway if you're carrying a bit of a cold, and also you're going to say like I'm a bit ill.
I'm not going to do this as well.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Where are these coming from, by the way? Sorry.
Oh, these are all from Carrie Cole, who's a music coach.
Okay.
So prepare ahead of time, she says, and that would mean just look after your voice before a gig.
Sure.
You know,
So
try
don't
not to talk too
over-exercise.
much. Try
Yeah,
not to, don't practice too much.
Yeah.
There's sort of various teas you can get that will help. One I found was, which looks rather nice, is throat coat.
Throat coat. That sounds
Throat
nice.
coat. Yes. So
It's a warm hug
organic
for your
thing.
larynx.
Absolutely.
But presumably it's to protect the mucous membranes or something like that, I guess.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's specifically
it's
aimed
an organic herbal thing.
Yeah.
It's meant to be based on Native American birch bark, I believe.
for. Okay.
Yeah, you can consider changing the key of a song.
Lower it
maybe just
slightly,
lower it down a semitone or
Yeah,
something.
so you're not really stretching the chords so
Yeah,
much.
exactly. Change the set, maybe. Leave out some stuff that's going to be a little bit too challenging.
Yep.
I mean, it's sort of obvious stuff, isn't it, really? Often warming up is a really good idea. Just look up if you like to warm up, just make sure you're doing less taxing warm-ups, perhaps.
Right, yeah. So reduce your range a little.
And don't talk. Reduce your patter between
I'd find
songs.
that very
I
hard.
know you would. Big time. But
That's a good job I'm not a performer then in that case.
Just try and reduce your pattern. So I think those are all sort of quite nice, easy sort of things to do. Yeah, look it up. carriecole.com.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
The other thing that we didn't, I don't think we've mentioned, is the risk of exhaustion. So if you are, I'm guessing particularly, we're coming at this from a grassroots perspective, and there are many people that we meet that are not necessarily new musicians, but they're forging a path. And with the idea that they want to make a career of it.
Yeah.
Now, there is a risk there of, I guess, taking on as many gigs as you can in order to, because obviously it's not an industry which is known at this level for being a high earning industry.
No.
And so to actually make a living to support yourself could potentially lead to, this is going to be
Burnout.
a good 100 gigs a year or more or even more. And so, there's risks involved in that. One, there's travelling because you're going to be moving around a lot. But two, physical exhaustion, late nights, maybe early mornings sometimes when you've got to get on the road again.
Yeah.
And so that's something to bear in mind.
We approached help musicians for a grant for a project we were looking at, and it would have involved quite a lot of touring, and you have to do a risk assessment, and the feedback was that was exactly that. That you, as part of the risk assessment, you haven't allowed for burnout. What will happen?
Sure.
How are you going to address that? How are you going to? And that's really good. And I think that the thing about that actually is we probably as performers are really bad at doing risk assessments. Yeah. And actually, when you think about it, you should do a risk assessment for every gig. Yeah. Even if it's just in your head. Yeah. You know, because you can...
We've got steps into this venue. That kind of thing.
Yeah, you've got steps in, yeah.
I do that. I will
just changing a string on a guitar, getting a string into the end of your finger is really painful.
Or if it breaks when you're going and into your eye. That's
but that was interesting in that they were bringing health issues into a risk assessment rather than accidents. They were actually talking about your health. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to avoid these things? And that's the key, isn't it? Is trying to avoid health issues. Yeah. And that's what's, warm-ups are about. That's what practicing is in the right way is about.
So you're giving yourself the best chance to give your best performance without it being detrimental to you, as it were. The Musicians Union website is really good on this, actually. They've got an entire section on health and well-being. They have a hearing health scheme. Yeah. And so well worth looking at musiciansunion.org.uk with absolutely loads of stuff on there. Yeah, so the health and safety aspect, but also the physical and mental health.
I'd recommend joining the MU, but all of this stuff is freely available on their site anyway to non-members.
Yeah. I think we've pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover. Really, is there anything else that
I'm sure there's loads and loads of elements of healthcare that we haven't covered. But it's just really this
sort of time. It's just touching.
Yeah, it's just touching on stuff and getting a conversation started.
Yeah, and if there's something actually that is related to this that you would like us to talk about, perhaps in the podcast, then do get in touch. Either comment below the Mixcloud when you can add comments on there, or contact us. What's the best way to contact us? Via the Bluebell Roots page at the moment.
Yeah, go to bluebellroots.co.uk and you should be able to get a hold of us there.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Let's go back now to Bluebell Roots from early April, where we had Erica Steenkamp. And just before we recorded this, we managed to catch up with Erica. And you're going to hear Josie again in a minute, because obviously Josie was part of this. Yes. She's not come back, but because we recorded it earlier. But we recorded an interview with Erica Steenkamp, and we cover a couple of health issues in that as well. So have a listen to this.
Hello, Erica. How are you? We can see you. I can see you on the Zoom thing now.
I've been pressing buttons in expectation that I'll succeed with this.
Well,
it's great to see you. There we are. Look, we're back as well.
Oh, that's nice.
How are you doing anyway?
Fine. How long has it been since we did the gig with you guys?
Well,
2 weeks?
That was the 6th of April.
Almost
13,
2 weeks.
Yeah, 13 days.
Yeah, that was such a highlight for Chris and myself, because it had all the components of what we used to do at the cafe.
Lovely.
And the interesting thing is that the cafe was called Bluebell, but it was the French Bluebell, as in bell with an E on the end.
Okay.
And then we connected with you guys, Bluebell Roots, and it just seems, such a lovely coincidence.
It was just meant to be, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
It was, and the same. We have similar approaches to things. I think because music is so important to us. To create the right environment for a musical show, lots of fabric and candles and some good folk,
Yes, we had Sue, one of the neighbours, climbing up on the window ledges, putting up all the hangings at the top of the windows, because I couldn't reach them.
She does have her working at height certificate, so it's risk assessed properly. But the performance went down really well. I think it was really well received, and I know it was enjoyed. We had lots of great comments afterwards.
Yeah, it was great comments at the time, and also since people have been in touch and said how much they enjoyed it.
You were a little bit out of your comfort zone, though, it's fair to say, Erica, I think.
Well, I think I came out of my comfort zone when we left the main road.
Okay.
And turned left down this, single lane car track to to the village. At that point, it became a real experience for us. Once we reached Arlington and sat in the pub for a bit and then ventured down to the hall to meet you guys, that's when it became a really, really wonderful experience because it's so different to what we normally do. But because you were so welcoming, I went straight into my comfort zone.
Excellent.
That's good. Nice to know.
Erica, why don't you give us just a sort of a recap of your background and how you got into music and songwriting specifically, I guess.
I think for me, it was a reaction to a pretty crazy upbringing. I think within the first 24 years of my life, I must have moved 24 times, gone to 9 different schools. So there was no consistency, there was constant change and nothing to anchor myself to. And I think when I discovered music, when I played with my older brother at the age of 15, when I discovered just how satisfying and it was something that I could call my own. And I think that's when I hooked myself to it and it became my refuge. Ever since then, that's where I would go to relax, to refresh, to innovate and to share.
It's a way of finding your place in the world as well, isn't it? And how you fit into things. I think that's what I think. That would have been in South Africa?
Yes, it started out in South Africa. I mean, bearing in mind, my dad was a vicar and so we had to go to church every Sunday. Yeah. So we grew up with singing and choirs and fairly conventional musical structures. So I think the seeds for wanting to participate in music is spread quite young. And also growing up in South Africa, we weren't really exposed to radical music, like punk or sort of real rock and roll, because a lot of stuff was banned at the time.
Sure.
And we were going back to the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
We had the Beatles, we had just about managed to get Queen. The Carpenters was one of my early loves. And so yes, my love for music started there.
So when did that music start turning to writing your own material?
I think when I left for the UK, I was 16 and my mother sent for me and I moved straight up to the Northeast and, totally new environment.
What a difference.
And it didn't meet any of my expectations. It was cold.
I can definitely vouch. It's definitely cold in the Northeast.
We arrived in the middle of winter. Everything was covered in snow and it was the end of the end cottage of a miner's row of houses. It used to be the soup kitchens for the miners as well. The house was freezing cold. There was one fire that heated the boiler system. And the first morning I woke up, there were icicles inside my window. So it was a bit of a shock to my system because I came from the hot South African summer. I got to know the neighbors and there was a lovely couple who lived opposite us. And I expressed to him my love for music and he actually gave me his guitar.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, it was just a standard acoustic because I couldn't afford, a guitar at the time. So I would go up to my bedroom and I would start playing and then I just started to write songs. I don't know how, but I learned the basic chord structures and that's how it all started.
And here we are, some years post, and you're performing in venues around the country, it's fair to say. Whereabouts are you based?
So Chris and I are based in London, which is, a good place to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. But I have to say, having just come from South Africa, where there are fewer musicians and maybe not more outlets for playing live, but it seems somehow easier to make a connection with audiences over there. There's so much competition in London and it's a tougher environment to find a platform for your music.
Mm-hmm. We're talking in this particular podcast episode about health, musicians' health. And you, as a partnership with Chris, have been greatly affected by health issues in recent times. Can we talk about that a little?
Well, we can touch upon it lightly.
Yeah, sure. Because you were performing solo, you normally perform as a duo.
Yes.
But Chris has recently been affected by ill health.
He has. I mean, we were away in South Africa on holiday when he suffered a stroke. And I think, for a musician, especially Chris, who is he's a remarkable guitarist. And for that to happen to him is just one of the cruelest blows you can experience. So we were away for 5 months because he had to recover. I feel very hopeful that Chris will make his way back. It's still early days.
It is,
Sure.
yeah.
So the partnership is still very much a partnership, but I'm continuing to write and perform, and Chris is always by my side.
I loved when we first met back at Thornset Road. Josie and I were both completely blown away by your partnership. I mean, as a guitarist, I was completely in awe of Chris's playing. And he was kind enough to be very complimentary about mine, which like totally made my day, because I thought, well, you're grown up, you're a proper,
You're grown up.
you're all proper and everything, and you think I can do it right. So, and that's what's really nice about meeting other musicians, isn't it? Because you got up and did an amazing set. You sit there thinking, well, how are we going to follow that? And you do, and it goes down okay. Suddenly, you're sort of on the same. You're all on the same page, aren't you? And I guess I'm wondering if you felt a little bit of that intimidation at Bluebell Roots because you were playing solo.
Well, to be honest, I was beyond caring. I've learned over the past many months, especially when Chris had his stroke, I've kind of had to wade through the weeds of what matters and what what is inconsequential. And yes, you can get bogged down with putting yourself in the center of things. But when I played at Arlington Hall with you, I felt like I was part of something really wonderful. And that somehow seemed to just give me the energy to go up and just do what I do. And usually I didn't feel very nervous. I just felt like I was here in a room with a bunch of really great people. And I felt very comfortable that particular night.
That's lovely to know.
Yeah, that's really good to know.
It is lovely to know, and thank you, because it's we do what we do, and we've done it over the sort of 7 years, and it's sort of developed organically, hasn't it? And it's I don't feel it's necessarily any particular effort or plan to make it feel like that's just the way that it's kind of worked out. Future plans, obviously, as Chris is recovering, you're still writing, still performing. Do you have plans for recording and releasing material?
I would like to just do some very basic renditions of my songs. There are so many songs that are not recorded. I may well end up just going into a studio and doing a lot of live takes of my songs. And I would be content with that. And then when Chris eventually, when the two of us can play together again, re-record them and make more of a production of them. Yeah. And the other thing I've realized is that you can't wait. If it's possible, do things now, because life can throw you a curveball at any second.
I wanted to ask you actually about your guitar style, because I really love it. I love the way that you accompany yourself, and I'm really interested to know how that developed, because it's very bassy, isn't it? You hardly play the top strings.
Yeah, it's basically laziness.
Well, whatever it is, it sounds great.
To be honest, there came a point, I think it was about 30 years ago, and I was home one night. My kids, I've got 3 children, and the 2 older ones were in the bedroom, and they were complaining about the fact that, I'm keeping them awake. And because I was struggling trying to write a song, but taking the song with me on the guitar, and I just couldn't do it with conventional tuning because I didn't have the time to study the craft, but I had ideas in my head. I went into the living room. I just detuned the guitar to DDA. Yeah. And I don't know why I did that particular tuning. It just seemed to strum a bass note for me at the time, and it lent itself to a very rhythmic approach. So I kind of got the bass line and I got the rhythm going, and then I didn't have to worry about the harmonics. That's really when my songwriting started to take off.
And
when
you
I
can
felt
concentrate
confident
on the melody a little bit more, do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. I think the comparison with you and Susan Vega came up a couple of times. Do you see that? I
kind of do. Yeah.
I'm not suggesting you are like Susan Vega, but there's definitely, I don't know, there's an aspect to the sound of your voice.
It's been mentioned a lot of times, so there must be.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I'm honoured.
Well, yeah. and it's annoying, isn't it?
You have to say something so that people coming along to hear the gig know what kind of music it is. That's the only reason you
I think
make
that's
some
important,
comparisons like
actually,
that,
that
isn't
people
it?
have something to latch
Yeah.
onto.
A little reference point.
Yeah.
For people who like
Yeah.
this, then
Yeah.
you might like this. Yeah.
I'd like to talk about your song Julietta. Can you tell us a little bit about the story behind that?
Well, this was at the beginning of the Ukraine war when a lot of refugees were leaving and coming to the UK and all over Europe. I was in the cafe one day. This woman came in and she seemed sad. So after a while, I went to sort of sit with her, and she was having a coffee, and we were just talking, and she was explaining to me that she'd newly arrived in England, and that she'd left the Ukraine, she'd left her family behind, and she wasn't sure what the next step would be. And there are certain aspects to the song that I kind of, in terms of how she traveled, that the lyrics crossing over Calais to Dover, that is more of a fiction. But by saying that, I also included the story of refugees who actually do that, who take the risk. It's mostly about her, but it's also about refugees in general and the struggles they have.
She lights a cigarette, her name is Julietta. She's sleeping on my sofa, and I don't really know her. I saw her down the cafe, not looking very happy. Asked her what's going down. She said she's a stranger in this town. She said I come from out of space, another town, another place, different world she calls home. Traveling alone, trying to forget all the reasons why she left. There is salt in her skin from the Channel crossing over Calais to Dover. Boat sailed over a restless sea. Trucks and trailers in a shipping container. Someone sold her a one-way ticket down a one-way street. She is a silhouette in my window, Julietta. The day is nearly over, and I don't really know her. She wants to see the city, she don't want any pity. We take a walk outside, and then Julietta cries. She said, I feel so out of place. My home's been laid to waste. Tell me how to move on when everything is gone. I'm trying to forget all the reasons why I left. There is salt in my skin from the Channel crossing over Calais to Dover. Boat sailed over a restless sea. Trucks and trailers in a shipping container. Someone sold her a one-way ticket down a one-way street. She is a silhouette in my window, Julietta. The day is nearly over, and I don't really know her.
Wow.
That one got a very good response, didn't it, as you finished playing that one? I don't know if you heard sort of, there were some excellence and whoops as afterwards as well.
I love that live commentary and people shouting excellent. It's a great, I think it's an excellent idea. On the spot review.
Yeah. And I think there was a wow as well.
I think it's Andy Melrose.
That was Andy, I remember.
There's a wow in a Scottish accent.
So, yeah, the idea of obviously recording some things and then as Chris's health improves, maybe then working on those things. And then more live shows?
Oh, yes. There's one in my diary on the 17th of May. So we have a local beer hop event. Lots of musicians. I'll be opening up the show and I've got something to look forward to. And the lots of open mics in between, keep working at at it.
Erica, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat to us today, but also for your performance at Bluebell Roots. It went down very well. We thoroughly enjoyed it. And good luck with recording, with new shows and so on. And all the best to Chris for continued
Chris
improvement
our love and
in his
we'll
health.
see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, thank you for everything. You're a rarity in this day and age, and I hope you can keep going. And I hope we can connect again soon.
That would be great.
Yeah, likewise.
That would be lovely. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you.
That was lovely catching up with Erica. It was a couple of weeks ago, obviously, that we met. Well, you've met before, but it's the first time I'd met Erica and her partner Chris. I thoroughly enjoyed her show. I thought it was something transformative about it. Actually, it was a really different guitar technique, which you mentioned obviously in the interview, and it was received so well by everybody as well.
It was a really great performance. It was really nice to see her again. I think she was like the perfect guest really at our new venue. It was she totally got it.
Yeah. Well, she was saying, wasn't she, in the interview about actually how similar it is to what she did at the cafe that they ran, and obviously a kind of meeting of similar kind of minds in a way.
But there's just that beautiful voice and her lovely delivery, and her lovely way about her, and goes without saying the quality of the songs and her singing. It just made for the perfect guest really. And
it was really great.
Totally blown away by it.
For our first one in the new venue as well, it was really nice to kind of have that kind of. It just really worked really well, didn't it? I think it was said a lot about what Bluebell Roots is, and there were a lot of new people there as well, weren't there? So hopefully that's kind of inspired people to go out, see live musicians. That's what we want, really.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's not just about coming to Bluebell Roots. It's about that's what we do Bluebell Roots for, is to promote the idea of going out and seeing live musicians and seeing it locally wherever you live. If you're listening to this podcast and you're in the Outer Hebrides, get down to wherever your nearest music venue is from time to time to go and support local musicians. That's the point, really. Yeah. I'm just going to quickly find Erica's website so that we can plug that. She's on Bandcamp, so you just search for Erica Steenkamp. Erica with a C, Steenkamp with a K. Yeah. And I'm guessing...
Double E.
Double E. Yeah, loads of stuff on there. The Julietta single is on there. Bandcamp is great for artists, particularly grassroots musicians, because you can upload your stuff there. You can sell digital downloads, you can sell physical stuff, merchandise and so on. Actually, that's something we probably should do an episode on, is kind of the web and what's great for musicians and about like the streaming services and so on. But so there's a little bio of Erica on there and various downloads that you can get. It's ericasteenkamp.bandcamp.com. Right, let's look forward to next month when we have 2 Bluebell Roots events.
We do.
But we don't have one in June. So the idea is we're doing both the bank holidays.
Yeah, because originally we'd booked the May guests. We were still going the last Sunday of the month, and then we moved to the first Sunday of the month, and so that they remained. We wanted to keep their booking, but then we moved someone to the first Sunday of March, so of May even.
So who have we got? It's May the 4th, isn't it? Sunday, May the 4th.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh,
all right.
Means I'm going to have to look on the website.
No, we've got Polly Morris. Polly she's a fantastic songwriter and performer. Really, really entertaining. She does a variety of songs. Some of them are comedic. Some of them are ballads, and she's a force of nature.
Right, okay.
She's really, really good, really entertaining. Really looking forward to seeing her.
And obviously her music, and we'll have an interview with her in the next edition of Bluebell Notes, which will be episode 10, and then we'll have some more live music from the other artists at Bluebell Roots as well.
So we got shows coming up. We've got 25th of May, that last one, the last Sunday of May. We've got the John Ward Trio, who you think are going to be a jazz outfit.
It's got to be a jazz outfit. It's just the fact that they're a trio.
I know. know it does sound like a jazz.
I'm
album.
imagining piano, bass, drums. That's it. We've got to get a big old Bechstein in the Arlington Hall.
No, they're from Suffolk, and John's a great songwriter, and they sound brilliant as a trio.
Okay, what are they instrumentation wise?
John's guitar, piano, accordion, and is it mandolin or is it double bass? I think it might be double bass.
Oh, okay. Oh, love a double bass.
I know you like a double bass.
Yeah, you see, then it is jazz in that case, definitely. Isn't it? Anything with a double bass, you can't say it's not jazz.
That's true. So we won't have a June
No.
show. Then we go to July the 6th when we got Donna Canale.
Oh, yeah. And Donna's been postponed from a previous time. She's brilliant, isn't she?
Yeah, she's played floor spots with Bruce like everybody else.
Yep. Hastings based, is she?
She is.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of it for this Bluebell Notes. As we said, do contact us and comment below if you're listening on the Mixcloud, or even if you're not, you can go to Mixcloud, find it, and you can put comments below there if you want to about the podcast, if you have any things you want to ask and so on. And don't forget Josie's question of the month, which is, what would your theme tune be?
What would yours be?
You're so vain.
Oh.
No, it wouldn't. I don't know. I'm going to
Another
have
bit
to
of Carly
give it
Simon,
some
though.
thought. I really don't know.
Nobody does it better.
Isn't that also Carly Simon?
Yeah. I mean, those are my two Carly Simon songs. I wouldn't know.
Right,
I wouldn't know
yeah.
any others.
Follow us subscribe on YouTube. We're now on YouTube, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon and various other podcast platforms. You can follow us on whichever is your preference, and tell your friends about us if they're musicians or they're involved in putting on live music events in at the sort of grassroots level. We'd love the podcast to get out to as many people in that field as possible.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be lovely. And we'll always welcome your feedback as well. That helps us with kind of how we take it further forward and other things that we can include. But until the next time, from Josie, bye.
She is tiny.
From Jim,
I'm big.
Lurcher, and from me, Neil Povey, we'll see you next time.
Here we are, coming in. So this is where we do the singing. This is the booth.
Oh, it's really lovely. Every time you say goodbye. I think I'm really happy with that.
Bluebell Notes podcast was brought to you courtesy of Long Way Home Productions. At your place or ours, together we'll make your music really shine.